Who's here? Who knows? All right. You win a prize if you tell me what this is from. Who's the first person who can tell me what this car is from? What this van, this epic van. I know you know it. And of course, this is none other than the A-Team van. There you go, Nerdy Duck. Yes, the A-Team van from the TV show. Excuse me. I don't have a lot of like Hot Wheels style car toys. I've got a handful of them around. Of course, I have the A-Team van. I have Knight Rider, Kit from Knight Rider, of course. A couple other ones. Actually, Kit is an interesting story. Shoot, I should have brought it out. A number of years ago, so Hasbro, or no, I'm sorry, Mattel makes Hot Wheels, and they do like some really interesting Comic-Con exclusives sometimes. And they did a Knight Rider Comic-Con exclusive. Hold on, let me see if I can grab it. give me 1 second. Okay, cool. So here we go. We'll move this aside. Now this thing is huge. So this was a Comic-Con exclusive for Knight Rider, obviously. And you bought this, and it was partly a blind boxed thing. So you get this really fancy. It's fancy, right? Super fancy. Now what does it do? It opens up. The box rises.
If I do say so, I'm quite pleased with my new look.
And it talks. So it rises. Well, there's a little bit of a. I don't know how much you can see. And it's just a Hot Wheel, and it attaches to. Wow, there's so much glare and reflection. But this kit, it says Knight Industries 2000. It's got the thing. It's got the little. Light up. If you close it a little bit, a lot of it.
If I do say so, I'm quite pleased with my new look.
And it talks.
I am the voice of Knight Industry 2000's microprocessor, KITT for easy reference, KIT if you prefer.
Yeah, so this was neat, but the blind box aspect of it was really interesting because, of course, when you bought it, it was completely closed up in a box. But then when you opened it all up at home, or if you ever opened it up, a handful of these weren't Kit. They were Car, the evil version of Kit from the show. And it said Car on the bottom here, and it had different audio. But you didn't know which one you got until you opened up the whole thing, which I thought was pretty interesting. But I got regular Kit, which I'm not upset about. Car would have been cool, but Kit is good. So anyway, like I said, I only have a handful of Hot Wheels or Matchbox cars around, mainly, specific things from properties. But I did see this one when it came out, and I thought it was interesting. And I was reminded that I had this upstairs to open because I had a movie on, and I thought I had like one of those fever dreams about, wait, what if they mashed up? I thought Car did talk, but I'm not 100%. I don't remember it well enough. Didn't it talk? I don't know. I'll have to look that one up. I don't think the truck talked. But yeah, I'm pretty sure Car talked, but the truck didn't. What was the name of the truck? The evil truck. So anyway, I was watching Die Hard 4. Don't ask me why. I don't have an answer for you. But I thought... Oh, Goliath. Thank you so much. Good job, everybody. I thought, hey, they should do a crossover with Fast and the Furious and Die Hard. Because both of those movie series just got completely ridiculous, adding all sorts of silly vehicles and insane plots. So that was my big movie moment. And then I remembered that I had this to open. So I was like, oh, okay, I'll get that out. So we've looked at a lot of toys from Jedi before on this show, because I love the little itty bitty nano metal figs. But as I've talked about, they're best known for their metal cars and vehicles. Welcome everybody, Zardoz, Rob Vegas. Rob Vegas, did you see my A-Team van and my kit from Knight Rider? I don't know if you just are joining us. So they've done a whole bunch of Fast and Furious. Obviously, there's, 15 movies by now? Something like that. Lurking is good. We love lurkers. And they've done these things in every scale. So this is the smallest one, but they've done larger ones, gigantic ones. Some come with figures. Some are remote controlled. You name it. This one was from, I guess, Fast. I don't know. I can't keep track which movie is which. And it doesn't really matter. Benjamin is here just off camera to show me that he too has a car from the Fast and the Furious series, which is pretty cool. This was the Charger outfitted for snow fighting or something. I don't know. Thank you very much. Die Hard and Fast. There you go. See, it writes itself. So this is from, I don't remember which movie it was, but it was the crazy one. And this is the car that they drove from one building into another building, 100 stories off the ground, whatever. Apparently this is a real car, the Lycan Hypersport. And I thought it looked cool. Like some kind of a futuristic supercar. And this is neat because this series is a Build-A-Figure set, as we call them with action figures. So if you buy them all, you can make Brian's Toyota Supra. Now I can't do much with just an axle, but hey, I'm on my way. I don't think I'll be collecting the other cars in order to make it. Wow, you need to buy 6 cars to build this thing. They're not bad. I do like the Skyline. Oh, I had a Skyline toy. It was one of those little... Does anybody remember? This must have been 15 years ago now. There were a lot of little remote control cars. I forget what they were called. Babe, do you remember all those little little remote control cars? We had a bunch of them. From Japan? Yeah. There was a Japanese line of small remote control cars, and there was a specific name for them. Shoot. That's going to drive me crazy. I have tried Gaslands, yes. My local comic book store did a demo day, and we went and tried it out. And it was fun. Yeah, I'd like to play more. I got to get the rule book, and then, I don't know, tokens maybe. Alright, so anyway, that was Fast and Furious and Cars. As a parent of small children, of course, I have a million dinosaur toys around the house. But this is something cool. I'm actually in the middle of doing a review on this guy. If you are at all into dinosaurs, I highly recommend you check out these dinosaur toys. Now, it's a dinosaur, but this thing is actually packed with a ton of articulation. It can move all around. You can pose it. You can open the mouth, close it. I actually got this thing in a running pose, standing on 2 legs. I was really proud of myself and the toy. There are joints everywhere on this thing. I think it has 19 points of articulation in a dinosaur toy. And I want to tell you, because this is made by, so it's called creativebeast.com. And the line is Beasts of the Mesozoic. So this dude, David Silva, if you're into toys at all, you probably have seen or you may own a toy designed or sculpted by David Silva. He does a ton of work for NECA. He's been in the toy industry forever. And like I said, he does sculpts and toys for other companies, but he loves dinosaurs. So he worked with actual paleontologists and other types of scientists and created this dinosaur line and it's just his line. It started off with Kickstarters, but I know that now you can go and buy the stuff just directly. But yeah, they're super cool. The first series were all raptor related. Oh, Rabbit Wombat, thank you so much for the resubscription. So yeah, there were raptors and Archaeopteryx and different versions, and every line has a bunch of different version of the same basic body shape, and especially this line, I forget what the name of this type of dinosaur is, but anyway, this basic body shape, there were a bunch of different dinosaurs with different heads, and essentially the same body, different horns, different frills. Obviously, Triceratops fits into this, but yeah, they're super cool. This one in particular is a Nasutoceratops titusi, a large-nosed, horned face dinosaur from Utah. There you go. And yeah, each one comes with this neat little card, gives you information. So many spam phone calls these days. Yeah, that's crazy. 8 months. Wow. I'll have to think of something big to do for my 1 year anniversary. Oh, and Zardoz, thank you so much for tacos for everybody. Yeah, it's Taco Tuesday. So anyway, yeah, my actual full review of this will be out later this week, but it is really cool. I took a bunch of pictures of this with other dinosaur toys that my kids have. I took a couple pictures with my actual Dino Riders figures. I don't have any dinosaurs from that line still, unfortunately. Hey, Squirrel. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, Ro. Yeah, and actually in this specific line, there was one of these. Oh, it's a Ceratosauruses, I think. I don't know, something like that. Which describes the type of dinosaur that this is, not the specific species. So all the different heads. But anyway, there was one of these general creatures in the original Dino Riders toy line, and when Dave made this new line, he made one to harken back to that one with the same colors and stuff, which I thought was also very neat. So yeah, dinosaurs, gotta love them. Erdinsk, I'm glad you're here. Erdinsk was the first one to point out to me this morning some toy news. I can't explain this. I don't know. So Hasbro has been going wild in the last couple of years, mashing up Transformers with other properties. Because, hey, they gotta sell more Transformers. Weird. Yeah, there's so many weird dinosaur and paleontology things. Zardoz, they've done a crossover. They've done a couple of crossovers with Transformers and My Little Pony in comics, and then there's a pony that's basically Optimus Prime Deco. But they've done this for Ghostbusters. There are 2 Ghostbusters Transformers. They've done it Back to the Future. They did a Top Gun Transformer this year for Comic-Con. There are other ones that I'm not thinking of right now. But the new one, it's X-Men Transformers. So it's the Blackbird, the X-Men's Blackbird. And it turns into Cyclops with energy things like Psylocke and energy claws. Bonk. I don't know. I guess there's an audience for this. It doesn't look bad. I mean, the colors are right out of the old cartoon, sort of the deco of it. It's interesting. It's pretty big. This thing is a sizable toy. It's on pre-order now for $65. It doesn't come out till next year sometime. Yeah, it's something. I hope people enjoy it. Let me show you. Remove that one. They also went really retro with the packaging to look like the old Toy Biz packaging, which again is kind of a weird thing. It comes with 2 little mini figures, which I like. I appreciate that. I'm very interested to know if those mini figures are part of another toy line, if they swipe them from something old or something that's upcoming that we haven't seen yet. I hate the name of this thing. It's the Ultimate X-Spanse. It's just an awful name. I don't know why it couldn't have had a real name. And possibly the most interesting thing is that they actually, if you read the press release, Hasbro sent out a ton of information, shared images with a bunch of websites, marketing, sure. They actually got where they worked with Lockheed and got the official sign-off on Lockheed for the Blackbird design, which is also kind of silly because, I mean, yes, obviously this thing is based on the Blackbird. Is that exactly the shape and proportions of a Blackbird? I don't think so, but why not? Sure. At least they can stamp it on the package. And actually, I think they're supposed to look like those old little metal Toy Biz figures, but I don't think they're the same sculpt. I don't know. I don't think they've shared really good pictures of those little guys. And it looks like Hasbro did one of those annoying things when they released this information, where they gave different press images to different websites. So if you want to see all the pictures of this stupid thing, you got to track them down. Although in the upcoming days, they'll all be shared everywhere. Right? They won't be sued for calling it the Blackbird, but I mean, hey, why not? I don't know. This is confusing to me, but great, sure. There is a long history of goofy X-Men and Marvel vehicles in toys. I'm not sure if you all know. Yeah, there you go. A little Sabretooth and Wolverine for your Warhammer armies. That'd be cool. Remove that. So I still have, and I've shown this before, I have my old Micro Machines X Jet, which is pretty neat. So this came, I believe this was in a 3-pack. It had this, it had a spider buggy, which I promptly threw in the trash, and then possibly the goofiest thing of all, I think this was a Wolverine vehicle. I couldn't tell you what this thing is supposed to be. It's bizarre, but I believe they said it was a Wolverine vehicle of some kind. I mean, it does have claws, sort of. It's a something, yeah. I'm not a huge fan of Spider-Man. Or at least, I'm not a huge fan of Peter Parker. I have to be more specific these days. So yeah, and then of course, there's the Thanos copter and other things that have been made into toys over the years that are a little bit goofy. All right, what is next? Let's talk. Oh yeah, that's true. It does look sort of like a Toadmobile. Yeah, I don't know what this thing is supposed to be or how it moves. And there's like an engine that's sideways. I don't know. It's silly. I know it's a differing opinion than most people have. I am not a fan of Peter Parker in the comic books or in most other things. It's just the banter. I don't like the banter. Okay. Right, and MXA, yes, they have done. Hasbro has done Marvel Transformers in the past. In the most, usually they were terrible. All right, bro. So I have some takes on things. Boom. Jedi Starfighters. No, it's fine. I never mind when my opinions differ from other people. It's great. We're all geeks. We all love our own specific things. There's plenty of room for all of us under the umbrella. Jedi Starfighters. There have been a couple of different designs. We'll talk about the Delta on another show. I really, really like this style, this ship. Obviously, it was made to be sort of... This was in the prequels, and it was supposed to hint at upcoming things. Obviously, it has a lot of design elements that we'll see later in the TIE Fighters and other TIE vehicles, but yet couched in that sort of more advanced, more sleek prequel technology. Oh my god, the Star Wars Transformers, they are so bad. They are so bad. Yeah, we still have a couple hanging around. Oh god, those things are trash. Yeah, so technically this is the... Hold on, I can tell you because I have a toy that actually says it on it. The Eta 2 Jedi Starfighter. But yeah, there were different names for these things. They were colloquially called just Jedi Starfighter, which is also really annoying because there were two very different designs that were both called the Jedi Starfighter. And then I always have to remember, okay, wait, this one was from episode 2, this one was from episode 3. All right. But yes, this one was the episode 3 version. Now, I have toys of this in a bunch of different forms. This one came from a Japanese blind boxed kit. Yeah, so they do have little S-foils that open up on the wingtips. And they came in a wide variety of colors. Oh, here's one from the Star Wars, the original Star... Well, okay, not the original, but this was a Star Wars... was it Space Star Wars Starship Battles? So this is Obi-Wan's Jedi... So this one calls it the Jedi Interceptor. So there's yet another name for it. Yes, all the Star Wars mini games being taken away from Fantasy Flight, taken over to Atomic Mass Games, and what does that mean? Yeah, that's a whole other conversation. Okay, so what toys of these have there been? So we got the miniature game, and this thing is pretty junky, but it's got a fair amount of detail to it. These stands were awful. Half of these came bent right out of the package. What are you gonna do? Like I said, this was from a Japanese company. These are very flimsy. They're essentially little tiny pre-built models, but they look nice. So Hasbro made a couple of different things. These are plastic toys. They're essentially micro machines, but in a slightly larger scale. And some of them they made with the wings folded, like this one. And some of them they made with the wing tips deployed, but I cut them off. I didn't have any really good bases that would hold it, so in order to put it down on the ground, I had to cut off the opened wing tips, which I was fine with. All right, now where we got the most toys of these was in the Star Wars Titanium line. Now, you've heard me talk about this before. It's one of my favorite starship toy lines ever because the toys were just really well done. They were metal. They had a lot of die cast, and they were just really, really cool. So let's dive into my parade of Jedi Starfighters, shall we? We'll start with the standard ones. We have Obi-Wan's. Now, Obi-Wan had everybody ended up using multiple versions of these in different colors, which also gets really annoying to try to remember whose is whose. So I think these were, and I can't remember exactly, but I think these were both Obi-Wans. Now these, okay, again, so this is from the titanium line. These things did a lot. There's a hole for a base that was included. It also has landing gear that you can extend and have it just stand up, which is neat. It has an opening cockpit that you could potentially put a little tiny figure in there. These didn't come with figures, but you know, we all have tiny little action figures that could fit in there. And these have, I don't know if I'm going to be able to open these after it's been closed for so many years. But these actually have deployable wings. Yeah, all the rumors about what it means for switching around the Star Wars stuff, whether they're trying to consolidate to be able to sell off one company or both of them. So yeah, so you can display it with the wings open, the wings closed. Lots of detail. Lots of details on these. So we have sort of the standard versions of Obi-Wan's two versions. They did an Anakin, famous from the movie. But then they thought, hey, let's do another Anakin. One with the cockpit blacked out, one with it clear so you can see through it. And of course, I bought them both. You can see little R2-D2 there. Adorable. Then they thought, okay, well, let's keep going. Let's make some other characters. Let's do a Mace Windu version in purple. Love it. Because if he's got a purple lightsaber, why not have a purple spaceship? And then another purple one. I don't know if this one was also a Mace Windu or if they just said this was somebody else's. Toward the end, they were just throwing people's other Jedi's name out. This is so-and-so's Starfighter. Who knows? There's one in green. It's a pretty nice green. That also looks like R2-D2, but it could just be another blue astromech. I don't remember if it's supposed to be another Anakin or not. Here's another blue one, and they actually did some really cool panel detailing on this one, which I like. And like I said, eventually I stopped even paying attention to what names they gave to these. It was like, oh, you've got another Jedi Starfighter? Okay, I'll take it. Just give it over to me. So they made all of these, and then the last gasp, as this line was about to end, they killed off the titanium line a while ago. They're like, all right, let's get really crazy. What can we do that's super weird in this line? So there are two that they added right at the end. They thought, okay, well, what if this design stayed after Episode 3 for a few years, and Anakin continued to fly these, but he'd want to put his own spin on it, right? So here's the Darth Vader version, which again was never seen in anything, but it does look pretty cool. It's blacked out. It's got some scuffed up battle damage on the front. The Imperial logo instead of the old logo, so it does change. Oh yeah, and obviously all of these are the exact same sculpt. They didn't right, the same mold. Yes. So yeah, this one's pretty cool. And then the silliest one, but of course I had to have it, is the Hot Rod version. How goofy is that? And it does have that little face thing on there. I can't remember if they pretended like this was belonging to a specific character, but yeah, it's fun. Some more gray on the bottom. It's not a bad color scheme. I don't know offhand if they made any more than this, but these are all the ones that I have. And I know I have at least one more of this style from a different company, but I don't know where it is. Nah, I'll find it. So then, of course, when Hot Wheels was coming out with new ones, I thought, okay, well, I got to get that too. Clearly, at least one to go along with those. And you can tell too if you just look at any one of these titanium ships, because again, they're all the same mold, versus the Hasbro version, that there are differences in how the different companies and how the different toy lines replicate this. Like this one is much more triangular versus the length of the parts here. Like you can see how this one it extends out at a much wider of an angle. So there's lots of differences in how different companies have made this into a physical shape. And I don't know if because I think these came out later. Because some of them, yeah, they almost look a little bit more A-wing shape with that slanted front. Anyway, let's open up the Hot Wheels diecast version. Star Wars Galaxies. So this was from the first... No, I'm sorry, the first wave, the first series of Hot Wheels ships. So they had these goofy flight stick things that it's a base, but it doubles as a flying, swooping thing you can put on your finger. Whee! Which is actually pretty funny because for little kids, who are theoretically the target audience for these are die-cast metal. They are very heavy. And if you put it on here, I don't know what little kid would be able to to maneuver this very well. It's pretty heavy. I've done a little bit of yard sale shopping in the past, but that wasn't like my main thing to go with. Now, again, die-cast. This one feels a little bit heavier, but it has none of the features that these did. It also has a really different shape to it. I'm sure you can tell. And like look at how bulbous the cockpit form is versus how sleek it is on this one. I don't think this is on model at all. I mean, these might have slightly too extended of these forward sections, but I don't think this is. I don't think that's right. I don't know. I'd have to bring up images from the movies, but yeah, it's interesting looking at these at these toys closely to see those kind of details, how they vary from different toy to different toy. Yeah, no, there's nothing on here that moves or does anything. These Hot Wheels line, they were pretty cheap. Yeah, there's no paint on. I guess this is R4. This is Obi-Wan's. But yeah, it's not a bad toy, and again, it definitely has heft to it. But yeah, I don't know. Interesting. Oh, I should hold it next to the blue one. Well, a very different blue design. Oh my goodness, it's not even straight. Look at that. Look at the wonky tips there. The bulbous looks more correct. Okay. Now, because this is a toy for children, the die-cast metal part is basically up to here where these lines are. And then the front part, these are plastic. So potentially if you were to jab somebody really hard with this, these would bend and not completely, impale you. I mean, this would dig into you pretty well, but not as much as if it was just metal. Oh, toy safety. So yeah, I might be able to wonky tips. I might be able to heat those up and get them to be straight. I suppose I'm glad they didn't make a million of these in all the different colors, because then I'd have to chase them down. There might have been a couple more in this line. They probably did an Anakin version, but since I have multiples in these other ones, I guess I don't need it. But these are cool. I like these. And again, on another day, I can do a retrospective of the actual Delta-shaped Episode 2 version of the Jedi Starfighter, because I got a whole bunch of those toys, of course. There. Wait, I like to leave out everything that I've opened. Hey, Hawk RMB, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. Welcome, Raider. Okay, what's next? Let's do Avengers, Age of Ultron. You know the movie. You love the movie? I know, I haven't watched that one in a while. I remember not loving it, especially. I could probably do with a rewatch. I just recently watched a lot of the Phase 3 Marvel movies, just to have on in the background while I'm doing work. So these are the Iron Legion, the robots that... Yeah, that I have opinions of that movie. Or rather, Zardes, you have opinions of that movie. I remember it not being great, but what are you going to do? So yeah, so these are the robots that Tony builds to protect the world. And you know they're robots because there's like a hole in the back of its... It's like a cutout in the back of its head. So you know that it's not a helmet. It's a robot head. Oh, see ya! But otherwise, they just look like Iron Man suits. So there are a couple of different toys they made of this. These are the 2-inch figures that I've opened a whole bunch of these on stream. I have a mountain of these little guys. Because, I mean, they're generics. They have a mountain of them in the movie. You need a whole bunch of them. James Spader as the voice of Ultron, best part of that movie, if you ask me. Now, Age of Ultron was interesting because at that time, like I said, they were doing these weird little 2-inch figures, which they later called Miniverse, but at the time they didn't have their own name. It was just little tiny toys. But they were still also making some basically 4-inch figures. So they made 4-inch Iron Legion figures. Well, I had to buy those too. Commanded by Iron Man, the Iron Legion are powerful unmanned enforcers sent to devastate evil. I mean, I guess. Are they really sent to devastate evil? Is that how you would describe them in the movie? Didn't they really just like put out fires and tell people where to stand where it would be safe? Can I make a standing pyramid with them? Their articulation is not great, but I don't know, you might. It does sound like Tony Stark, but I don't remember that exactly being their purpose in the movie. And again, they really emphasized it in the action figures. So you know there's no human in there, because look, there's a big cutout in the back of its head. That was like the big thing. And I felt it feels like they really focus on that with the toys especially. Just like in Iron Man 2, when whatever his name is, Whiplash is making the drones, and they get so mad. Oh, you made drones instead of people, and they specifically made really narrow little heads for them, so you would know that it's not a person inside. Hey, John. So again, these are super basic action figures. 5 points of articulation, just movable at the shoulders, the hips, and the head. As we've seen a lot, there's actually a fair amount of sculpted detail, but the paint just doesn't pick up any of it. So you got to look really closely to see that, especially on the back. I mean, look at this. Some poor sculptor put in all this work, and you can barely see it. And it comes with this goofy energy blade thing. Whatever. It's trash. But you can attach it to the forearm. It'll stay on there well enough. Hiya. Yeah, putting a wash on this would definitely bring out a lot of that detail. As you might expect from what I was talking about with these little ones, I have a bunch of these guys as well. So yeah, not too bad. But that's true. Yeah, just fill that in and repaint it, and then it could actually be a person inside. Or you could just do a head swap. Yeah, pop this head off, put a different head on there. In both lines, they also did the actual Ultrons, both Ultron Mark, and then they did that thing where there's a bunch of different marks of Ultron robots from that movie. Let's see if I can get one out of here without destroying him. So yeah, in the little line, this was the Iron Legion robot that was corrupted that Ultron first took over. And again, talk about like just ruining a decent sculpt with bad paint. Like what were they thinking? It's just the figure's just black. Awful. So annoying. Yeah, I'll add it to the list of things I need to paint. So yeah, there's the sort of the first version of Ultron, and then so I do have sort of like the mid ones, but then of course the sort of the final Ultron Prime or whatever you want to call it. I mean, on this one, you could dry brush it at least with silver or something. Bring out some of those details. But yeah. Yeah, if I could just clone myself and have them do nothing but paint, that would be pretty helpful. Yeah, like I said, somewhere I do have these characters in this scale. I believe. I don't know if I can reach them. Success, I could. So here we've got Ultron Mark 1. And again, at least this one, well, it's gray instead of black, so at least you can see a little bit better. They did some interesting stuff, or they tried. I mean, you've got the hole through the middle. It's creepy. Come on, let's focus. It doesn't have a hand. The head is interesting because it actually looks like there's light. Come on, focus. Because they use that much lighter blue on the inside, which is kind of cool. Because again, this is a corrupted version of this. Yeah, like they clocked out instead of finishing the figures. Now, sadly. Yeah, no, I liked these designs. Otherwise, I would not have bought as many toys of them as I did. Yeah, certainly battle damage with the Ultrons. Hey, Cameron. Now, they went really goofy with the Ultron Prime in the 4-inch line. I have no excuses. It's bad. I don't know where to start with this figure. Why he's so skinny. That's way off model from the movie. And he's got these energy arms. The head just does not look good. Where are his shoulders? Yeah, it looks wet. This is terrible. And this one, yeah, I don't know what's happening. Yeah, it's like he's got the extremis hands from the previous movie. I don't know. Now, like I was going to say, this one is so off model. I almost wonder if this was based on an earlier design for Ultron that they ended up moving away for in the final design. Just because it's, like I said, it's so far off. Even this toy is closer. Yeah, I don't know. Who knows? And again, toys have to be designed about a year before they go into production. So if this was made to be out anywhere near the release of the movie, it could very well excuse me. It could very well have been based on concept images rather than the final movie product. Yeah, but I don't love that one. I wish they made an Ultron that had a voice chip, though, of James Spader. That'd be cool. I think, yeah. Excuse me. Whoa. No, I don't think these had any added weapons or features to go with it. Not like the later versions of these little guys. Yeah, you could build a base that had a little, or like a Bluetooth speaker or something. So I believe I've opened up every single 2-inch figure package that I have. But I will tell you, I have a few more of these to open that I haven't gotten around to. Yeah, maybe. You never know with stuff like that. Like, was there going to be another accessory? Who knows? But yeah, this one is definitely... This is the most disappointing of the Ultron Primes in any line. In the they did a HeroClix set for this movie, and the Ultron Prime for that actually looks pretty decent, if I recall correctly. I believe I have it, but it's put away, and I haven't seen it in a long time. So yeah, so those are fun Age of Ultron figures. Just like with toy lines like this. Oh, and it's also kind of disappointing. They did a really good job on the white, just the color of these little ones. But this one it's got an off-white to it that's... In person, it's really noticeable. It's almost like a cream color versus the white. But yeah, I believe I have it, but it's somewhere. It doesn't glow in the dark. That would be cool if it did. You could do there's all sorts of glow in the dark paints that you could do and touch it up. Ro, that is an idea that we've been looking at. I think it could happen. So speaking of lines where they take molds and reuse them endlessly, like we talked about with the Jedi Starfighters. When not Hasbro, why do I keep saying Hasbro when I'm talking about other companies? When Mattel had the DC line, they did a bunch of these Multiverse figures. DC Comics Multiverse. And they would take, man, so many Batman toys, first of all. And a lot of things where, yes, they would take one sculpt and just endlessly crank it out in different colors. But I think possibly my favorite, some of these are based on video games, as you'll see here. So for Arkham Origins, they took the standard Batman action figure, boom, and turned him into Adam West. Sort of. Now, I'm not going to pretend that this is a great action figure. It's not, but it's Adam West Batman. Well, inspired at least. Yes, and remember, adult collector just means they didn't pay extra money for it to be certified to put a young age on it. That's all that means. So we've got Arkham Origins. DC Comics Multiverse figures are inspired by comic-based, character-rich entertainment sources, such as movies and video games. These figures are meticulously designed to be truly authentic, celebrating the many universes of entertaining DC Comics material. Fancy. So it says Batman Classic TV Series, Bruce Wayne, high-tech gear, cowl with detective vision, which shows skeletons and detects whether an enemy is armed or wearing body armor. Now, I have not played any of these games, but I have seen them played. I know what that detective vision looks like. I actually have a Bane figure that's in detective vision that I have not opened yet. Maybe I'll open it next time. Yes, let's open this up. This series was actually pretty cool. This Multiverse series, this was a line where they went back and they got the likenesses to make characters from a bunch of the older movies. I have one right here I can grab. They did Michael Keaton Batman in this line, which I don't have. Wish I did. Oh, wait a minute. Did I say I don't have it? I mean, I do have it. Sometimes I forget what I have. Focus. Dun, 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 dun. But the best one, just because of the property and because of how well it came out, they were actually in this line able to do a 4-inch Christopher Reeve Superman. Look at that. How great is that? So good. This one is front and center in my 3 3/4 inch to 4-inch action figure shelf. Love it. Love that one. Matt Cardona. Who is Matt Cardona? I do not recognize that name. I'm going to pop this open. So yeah, I'm trying to think if I have any Batman figure with this sculpt already. I don't think I do. I'm not sure. Because again, I'm not a huge fan of Batman the character. I do have a fair amount of Batman toys, just because, you know, that's what happens. Yeah, depending on how they do the articulation, sometimes the proportions get a little wonky. Oh, they taped the cape down. There we go. Good. Ooh, that's loose. I don't like that. Now it's showing up more purple on screen than it is in person. It's definitely dark blue. Okay, well this is decent. Yeah, this is definitely dancing Batman. He's got the moves. Alright, so what are we dealing with here? We've got a ball-jointed head. It can kind of move back and forth a little bit, but basically just side to side. It's got a good range of motion. Ball-jointed shoulders. Hinged elbows. We've got that goofy waist. And then the hips are cool because they swivel forward and they hook out. So again, if you're doing them at full extension, it's going to look a little weird, but at least it gives you some posing options. And then hinged knees. Oh, and then actually, look at that. There's a thigh twist. Okay. I can dig it. Yeah, you could definitely... Oh, look at that. I know you can't see it from the front, but that's a good pose. Cool. Yeah, no ankle joints, but with the combination of all of these joints here, and he's got pretty thick, sturdy feet, you can get some good poses with this figure. A Batman that can do the hokey pokey. This one came with no accessories, although he does have sort of an open, grasping right hand if you had something else for, from another toy. Deco's not bad. You can see it's got that white paint to, let's see if I can get some light in here. Mark off the face. There's blue eyes in there. Again, it's inspired by, the Adam West costume, but it's not exactly. Man, I wish my color is definitely off. Yeah, because it is blue in real life, dark blue. Now, of course, Adam West didn't have anything like this sort of physique, but we'll excuse that because, again, they reused an existing Batman mold and then just repainted it. Let me see if I have another. Let me get another thing to compare. So while we've got this Batman, we also have I'm Batman. So they did a line for the Dark Knight era movies. These figures were trash. The scale was off. They're just kind of weird looking. I mean, I don't know. I guess that's not a terrible likeness. He does have kind of a goofy looking face, but these figures, I don't know. It's just, they're not great. They were really, really cheap. So I think I got a box set of. There were a whole bunch of figures in the set. I have a Catwoman and I don't know. I have a bunch of these. Yeah, it's not great. It wasn't in the Multiverse line. This was its own just Batman movie line. I think I might have reviewed that set at some point. I don't know. It could be out there. It does have. They do have a little bit more articulation. They've got knees, but not like that can really. Like, what are you gonna do with legs that barely move at the hips? That knee articulation doesn't do anything for you. Yeah, these were not impressive. Oh, so this sculpt, I do have one other version of it. It's the one that when I opened the Solomon Grundy. Oh, I made such a cool display. I don't want to take it out. But that's the same. All right, I'll take it out. It just fell anyway. But yeah, I have Solomon Grundy holding up Batman by his foot. Is that the same? Obviously, it's a different head, but it looks... Is it the same body? Different belt. Different arms. No, different cowl altogether. Same chest? Yeah, same chest. So some shared parts. But yeah, different belts. Different forearms. Interesting. Why? Why did they make different forearms? Yeah, this head is really, really small and narrow. Oh my goodness. This even has... even has wrists, I just noticed. That's crazy. I'm even more impressed by this toy. I would say that's not even... They didn't even need to do that. Especially with no articulations, not holding anything. Oh, are they different? The lower legs are different. There are more creases in this boot than in this one. But the upper legs look like they might be the same. Yeah, I don't know. It's always tough, trying to spot differences when they're so similar. And then, of course, it gets really weird. Like, if they're so similar, then why did they make a new mold for that? Why are there differences at all? But yeah. This one is just so good. There's a guy... Okay, so if you're into HeroClix at all, and you still go to places like forums on the internet, there's a forum called HC Realms. I don't know if Arsenal Roy is still here. Arsenal Roy writes for them, does really, really great articles. But on HC Realms, it's a bunch of just talk about HeroClix and stuff like that. But then what a lot of people do is they'll make their own sort of fan-made HeroClix styles. So, if this character from this show was in HeroClix, what how would he play? What would the dial look like? And there's a guy on that site, I don't know who he is in real life, but he does these incredible forum threads taking a property like DC Comics and going through... This guy's gone through he's in the process of going through every single DC Comics-based movie and writing dials for all the main characters, which is a Herculean task on its own. But then this guy's actually like I don't know what he is or does in real life, but he has all this really great commentary on the movies too, social commentary, thematic commentary. And one thing that he talked about from the Michael Keaton Batman movie is that they had such trouble designing the cowl and the costume, and it had this massively heavy piece around his neck that it made for really iconic, or what came to be iconic and signature Batman moves, because essentially Keaton couldn't turn his head in the costume. He had to turn his whole body. So you get a Batman in that movie that's very... How did the guy describe it? Like, he's not agile, and Batman will just sort of stand there and let people punch at him from various angles, and then he'll just do like one lightning move to knock out somebody, at once. And then that ended up defining especially for a lot of people who were young when they saw that movie, and then for the next few movies, how Batman would move. And then it's only been in other forms of media, and then later, much later movies, that Batman, became an agile fighter again, and in different styles, in different media, I suppose you might say. But I thought that was kind of a cool note. I was like, yeah, I can totally remember, watching this version of Batman sort of turn his whole body in order to look in a different direction and then just knock somebody down rather than doing a whole bunch of martial arts moves. So I thought that was cool. All right, I think that is we're going to wrap this up. So what did we look at today? We looked at the Lycan Hypersport from the Fast and the Furious movies. We got a new Jedi Starfighter from episode 3. We added yet another Iron Legion robot to my legion of Iron Legion robots. Let me see how many of these I actually have on display right now. Next to my other Iron Mans. Ooh, interesting. I only have 3 of those in the display case so far. So this will make 4, and I believe I have at least 3 more unopened. So a nice little Iron Legion collection. And then we checked out the Bright Knight Batman 66. Well, Arkham Asylum Batman dressed as Adam West. Cool. Oh, and of course we talked about Dinosaurs and that super weird X-Men Transformer that's coming out in a little bit. And again, if you want that, you can pre-order it for $65. I don't know exactly how big it is. It looks to be, I don't know, probably a foot long, maybe more. As much as I like X-Men, as much as I like Transformers, as much as I like Cyclops, I will not be pre-ordering that. So you will not see me unbox it here unless I get a review sample, which is highly unlikely, or somebody gives me one. I don't know what to tell you. All right. I will be back here tomorrow for Warhammer Wednesday. I finished building the Orc race car last week, so we'll see what new project I get into. Yeah, I'm sure we'll find something cool. All right, everybody have a great Tuesday, and I'll catch you tomorrow. Thanks a lot for hanging out. Thanks to those of you who resubscribed. I appreciate it very much. And Hawk R&B for the raid. And I'll see everybody tomorrow. Okay, bye.